Welcome to my new tutorial Python for engineers. My videos in the YouTube computer organization problems. It was very much helpful for a lot of students. Lot of students given feedback that it was helpful for them. So I plan to start a Python tutorial because actually you may think why should start a Python tutorial videos because n number of materials are available in the internet world. So why should start a video tutorial? Actually, my aim is the people who don't know Python also, or if the people who don't have any relation with the programming languages also can study Python because Python follows very simple syntaxes. In a very simple way, we can write this program, so everybody can study this. So I'm planning to take this course in a very simple and basic level. Maximum, I will try not to use technical or complicated things. I will try to go in a very simple way. And also, uh, when I'm teaching Python to the students, some of the students having little bit confusion in these programming languages because first time when they study this, they want to hear the classes again. They want to attend the classes again. They want to repeatedly hear. Or some of the students are not able to not able to do study themselves. So because of this reason, I'm trying to put all this Python basic concept in a simple video. So please subscribe this YouTube channel and follow all my videos. We will go in a step by step way so that we can cover all Python programming language, and we will go to Python data visualization and statistics, probability. All these things we will cover through these video lectures. So I encourage everybody to subscribe this YouTube channel and follow all these YouTube videos. So Python is a general purpose interpreted and interactive programming language. Like C programming and Java programming, it is a high level programming language, and also it is an object oriented programming language. In upcoming classes, we will discuss what is object oriented programming language. And Python is always calling as an interpreter language because you don't need to compile your programs like your C program, and you can actually sit at Python prompt and you can interact with the interpreter directly to write programs. See here in this window, I'm just typing here a equal to 4 and b equal to 3, and both lines executed now. Now I am writing one more line, a plus b. That line is also executed. So line by line, when you type one code, immediately you can execute it. You can get the output. So Python is also called as an interpreted language. If you have any knowledge in C programming or Java programming, I'm telling you some basic rules in Python programming. Please don't declare any variables. Please don't declare any variables. Like in C programming, you may use like this integer a comma b with a semicolon. You may use like this. Please don't use these things in Python. That is not at all required in Python. So, and also don't use these type of curly braces in Python. And whenever it is required to use this type of curly braces, and when we need to use this semicolon or colon, I will tell you that time you can use it. So when you execute your Python programs, at the initial stage, don't use any of these things. Please don't declare any variables like integer a comma b, and don't use any curly braces as of now, and don't use any semicolons as of now. And we have to use this curly brace and colons somewhere in Python, and I will tell you where to use all these things. Okay, I'm going to directly I'm going to start with a small Python programming code. How to write a Python programming code in a very simple way. I'm going to write a line, print. I'm going to print something here. Say example, I used a print function inside this print function I put double quotes or single quotes, whatever you want you can use. I am just writing uh, computer science, and this is my program, only one line in my program. Actually this is the comments, I'm going to delete this, we don't want this. Okay, this is my Python program. Okay, I'm going to save this program. Some name I given symbol.py. I saved the program. I'm going to run this program using this run button, and I got here output as computer science, you can see here. So this is also a program. Such a very simple way we can write Python program. We don't want any header files, we don't want any other titles, just one line I've written print computer science, and I got output here as computer science. One thing I forgot to tell you, how to install this Python. Okay, so one method is you can go to www.python.org website, and you can download the Python directly and you can install it. Okay, and another method is the tool which I used is the website called www.thorny.org. If you go to this website, you can download a software called Thorny, and this Thorny software is very simple to use. Very simple. You can easily execute the Python programs. Okay, whatever it is, you can see this window screen. Here I am going to write my Python programs, and here something called shell. Here I am getting the output, and if you want to execute line by line code, you can write here also. You see, as I told initially, I've written here a equal to 4, b equal to 3, a plus b. I got the output here. So line by line you can execute here. And if you're writing a program, some 3 4 lines or 10 lines, you can write here and save it, and just click this run button, and you will get output here. So you can use this software also. This Tony software is very much easy to use. Now I'm directly going to our Python. I told you how to print something in Python. You can use a function called print, and inside this print function I want to print as computer science. So whatever you want to print, that must be enclosed with either single quotes or double quotes. Here I use double quotes. If you use single quotes also, it will work. If I use a single quotes, that also will work. Again I got output computer science here. Okay, so how to print something using print function, don't forget this. This is very much necessary for all our programs. Next thing is I'm going to discuss some data types in Python. Very basic data types I'm going to discuss. So how to represent numbers in Python. How to represent numbers in Python. So numbers we can represent in two ways. One is integer ways, and another is float. So if you have some basics in programming language, you may understand what is integer and what is float. So to represent a number or to store a number in Python programming language, you need a variable. See, I'm going to write a simple variable called a. I've written a simple variable called a. A equal to, I've written an integer 4. I've written an integer 4. I'm going to comment these things because we don't want to execute these lines. Okay, so this is how I am commenting in Python. 3 single quotes or 3 double quotes I given. Again I closed with the 3 single quotes or 3 double quotes. So these lines will not execute in our program. So I've written a equal to 4. So a is a variable of type integer. So I told you numbers can represent in two ways. One is integer and another is floating ways in Python. So here a equal to 4 means a is a variable, or a store the value 4, and 4 is an integer value. Suppose b equal to 5.1. This is floating point values because it has a decimal part 5.1. So this decimal type of numbers we will represent in float. So b is a floating type of variable and A is integer type of variable. So mainly numbers can represent in two ways, integer and float. And to store values in Python, we need variables. So this is an important concept, variables. So how to write a variable? So here A is a variable and B is another variable. Suppose I am writing another variable called uh, number. This is also a variable. I can store a value here, number equal to 9. So number is also a variable. And suppose I am writing a variable called for uh, num. Actually, this cannot be considered as a variable because it starts with an integer value. Usually when you are writing variables, don't start with an integer value, always start with an alphabet. So I can write like this, num equal to 7. So num is also a variable. And I can write like this, number integer int equal to 10. So this is also a variable, number int, that is also a variable. So variable you can write in any way, any name you can give. Here I given number, number int, a, b, all these are the variables. You can give any name, but some rules you have to think is better to don't use any special symbols like this. Don't use any special symbols like this, and don't start with a number, that is also false. Okay, always starts with a character. Alpha values always start with the characters. And if you want to connect two words like this, number int, so better to use a capital letter in between. Don't use any space between two letters. This is also wrong. Here I have written number equal to int. This is also wrong. Don't use a space. If you want to separate two words, otherwise you can use a special symbol called underscore. Don't use any other special symbol like hash symbol, dollar, ampersand, percentage. These type of symbols please don't use when you create a variable. Don't use a space between two words, and better to use a underscore if you want to connect two words. So all these are variables. I hope you understood how to write variables. You can write any name, and always this variable will be the left side of equal to symbol. Always variables comes at the left side of the equal to symbol, and right side of the equal to symbol what value you want to store. Suppose number equal to 9.3, it is a floating point value. I already told you it is a floating point value. So number is a variable which represent a floating point value, and it stores the value 9.3. If I write 3.9, so number is a variable which represent floating point value. It stores a value 3.9. So this is how we are storing a value in Python. So to store a value or to assign a value, we will use an operator called assignment operator. An assignment operator represented with equal to symbol. Assignment operator is equal to symbol. So don't forget this, assignment operator in Python is equal to symbol. Always remember, left side of the equal to symbol is our variable, right side of the equal to symbol is our value. Here also left side is variable, right side value. So num is a variable which stores a value 7. So for the variables you can give any type of names, any name you can use. The rules are, don't start with integers or floating point numbers, don't use special symbols. If you want to connect two words, you can use either you can use underscore, or without underscore you can use capital letters, or without capital letters small letter also will work. Anyway, you can connect it any name you can give. Always give characters as variable name. So don't forget these things. So this is how we are storing values in Python. Now uh, how to, I already told you, declare don't declare any variables in Python, because why I'm telling this is you may um, You may studied C programming. There you used to declare variables. Here don't declare. Automatically Python will declare. When you type a equal to 9, automatically Python consider a as an integer variable. I'm going to run this code. Only one line I've written, a equal to 9. Okay. I'm going to print this a. How to print this a? Print of a. This is how I'm printing value a. I printed a. I got output here as 9. I got output 9 here. So what I'm telling is I have not declared a as integer variable, but Python automatically considered a as an integer variable. So how to know the type of a? See here I can print type of a. So type is another inbuilt function. Print is also an inbuilt function. Type is another inbuilt function. I am going to print type of a. So this is the code. How to know the type of a variable? Type of, inside you can give variable. So type of a, I am going to print it so that I can know what is the type of a. So I am running this. So I got output here as class int. So a is an integer variable. So who assigned a as an integer variable? So when you given an integer value to a, how you given integer value to a? Using equal to symbol, using assignment operator, a equal to 9. So what happens here is Python automatically considers a as an integer variable. So how to know type of a variable? We can use the function type of a so that you will get the output class integer. So here type of a is integer. If suppose I'm writing 9.2, a equal to 9.2. So now what is type of a? I'm going to run this code. So I got class float. Float is the type of a. Now a is not an integer variable. Now a is a floating type variable, floating point variable. So don't declare any variables. Python automatically considers declaration. We don't want to declare any variables. Next important concept in Python is strings. Now I'm telling you one more important thing is when you use this print function, initially I told you put single quotes and print something. You see here I'm going to put a in single quotes. What output I'm going to get? You see this output here. I'm going to run this code. I run the code. I got output as a. You see this? I got output as a because I am printing a within single quotes or double quotes. But if you want to print 9.2, how to print 9.2? Don't use single quotes or double quotes. Just write print a. Listen very carefully. Don't use single quotes or double quotes. Just print a and run this code. You will get 9.2. So you understand the difference between these two. If you want to print a, you have to put this a in either single quotes or in double quotes, and you print it, you will get a. And if you want print 9.2, you have to print a. See, you got 9.2. Now, so this is also a program. I have only 2 lines in this program. So what output I got is what I am printing. That is my output 9.2. If you don't print, you cannot see the output. So always whatever output you want, you have to print it. Once you print it only, you will get the output. So next concept we are going to study is strings. It's a very important concept in Python, strings. So as of now, we discussed numbers, 2 types of numbers, integer, float. So next is strings. So strings are defined either with a single quotes or with a double quotes. String always represent in single quotes or double quotes. So this is the identification of string. So how to identify a string? So I'm going to write a variable a equal to, so as our definition says, single quote or double quotes. I'm putting single quotes. Within the single quotes, I'm going to type some name, say apple. I will run apple. So apple is a string. So why apple is a string? Because it is a group of characters. Apple means group of alphabets, group of characters. So a group of characters or group of alphabets we can call as strings. And if I'm writing one integer here, that is also considered as string in Python, because whatever comes within single quotes or double quotes will consider as string. So string means group of characters. So as I told earlier, whatever the value is, the value should be stored in Python. How to store in Python? We will use operator called a assignment operator, that is equal to symbol. Left side we will give variable name, right side we will give value. Always remember, left side we will give variable name, right side we will give value. So here value of string a is apple 1 2. So I'm simply writing apple. We can write in double quotes also. I use double quotes instead of a single quotes. This is also right in Python. Now a is a variable of type string. So how to know the type? So as I told you how to check the type, we can print type of a. I'm going to check type of a. Play, run this. So you got the output class str. Str means string. Class str. So now a is a variable of type string. So example, I am writing b equal to 5.7, 5.6. I'm going to check the type of b. So what will be type of b? As I already discussed, type of b. What will be type of b? Type of b is float. You see here, first string, that is a type of apple, then float, that is type of 5.6. So now a is a variable of string type, b is a variable of floating point type. Now we are going to and another important thing in Python is uh, one interesting thing, not important thing, one interesting thing is you can assign multiple variables with a single value. This is also possible in Python. Say I am printing value of a. How to print value of a? Print a. I am printing value of b. Value of b. I'm printing value of c. So what will be value of a, value of b, value of c? I'm going to run this. I got output as 1 1 1. So value of a is also 1, value of b is also 1, value of c is also 1. This is called a multiple assignment. Multiple assignment. This is also possible in Python. So you can assign a value to the multiple variables. That is also possible in Python. And another version, another thing of multiple assignment is you can write like this: a comma b comma c equal to. I'm going to assign value 1 for a, 2 for b, 3 for c. This is also possible in Python. Don't use these lines because it will make error. I commented it. I commented using hash symbol. This line I don't want to execute, so I commented it using hash symbol. So this is my code: a comma b comma c equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3. So here what happens is 1 is assigned to a, 2 is assigned to b, 3 is assigned to c. So I'm printing a, b and c. We will see what is the output. You see here, I got the output 1, 2 and 3. Value of a is 1, value of b is 2, value of c is 3. This is also possible in Python. This is called a multiple assignment. With a single line, we can assign multiple values to multiple variables. This is also possible. Always remember, assignment operator is equal to symbol, left side variables, right side values. Now we are going to study one more important type in Python, which is called list. List. Okay, I'm commenting this. How to comment? You can use hash symbol or you can use single list. How to write a list? Again, I need a variable. Say example, I've written a variable called capital L equal to, so left side variable name equal to symbol, right side our values. So list is nothing, list of items. It is always represented with square bracket and each value separated with comma. So here I am writing value 1 comma uh, a string value apple comma a floating point value 3.4 again comma a string value computer science CS. So this is a list. L is a list. I'm just checking the type of L. How to check the type of L? Print type of capital L. I'm just going to execute this code. I got the output as class list. Class list. So L is a variable. That variable is type of list. So far we studied integer type, floating type, string type, and fourth type what I'm telling is list type. List type is something similar to array in C programming. So list is nothing, list of elements or group of elements. So how to identify a list? Always you see this square bracket. Whenever the square bracket comes, that is a list. And inside the square bracket, each items separated with the comma, that is called list. So here I have 1 2 3 4 items in the list. First item is 1, first item is 1 is type of integer, second item is apple, that is type of string. So how to identify string? Because it is in single quotes or double quotes. And another item 3.4, that will be a floating point type value, and another is CS, that is also a string type of value. So in the list, the advantage of list is you can have multiple types within list. Multiple types of values you can have in list. It is something similar to array, not array, similar to array in C programming. And I'm just going to one symbol operator, which is a plus symbol. Then we will stop this video today. Then next class we will in detail we will discuss about the operators. So I'm going to assign some values. Number one is my variable equal to assigning a value called 40, and number 2 is another variable is assigning a value 20. Now I'm going to print num1 plus num2. I want to add these two numbers. So 40 I stored in a variable num1, 20 I stored in a variable num2. So how to store? Using equal to symbol. And I'm going to take output of sum. So I am printing num1 plus num2. So I run the code. I got the output as 60. Output as 60. So remember, num1 is a variable of type integer. Num2 is a variable of type integer. Now I am writing 20.2. So now num2 is a variable of type float. Num1 is a variable of type integer. Again I am going to run this code. I got the output as 60.2. Now I am going to make a small change in num1. I am going to put a quotes here. I put a single quotes here. So what happens? I'm going to run this code. You see, I got an error. It is coming in red color, and the error name is type error. You see here, error name is type error. So actually what happened is num1 is a variable of type string. Num1 is a variable of type string because I put the string inside double quotes or single quotes. Whatever you put inside single quote or double quotes, it will consider as strings. So num1 is a variable of type string. You cannot add a string with a floating point value. You cannot add a string with integer value. That is not possible. See, again error comes. You cannot add string with the integer or floating point value. That is not possible. Two different types is not possible. But you can add integer with the floating point values. No problem. Integer with the integer, floating with floating, integer with the floating. That is because integer and float are numerical type of variables. They are numerical type. So you can add it. But string is not numerical. So you cannot add string with the numbers. Always remember this. And suppose you write 20 also as a string. I made 20 also as a string. Now 40, num1 is also a string, num2 is also a string. Here I don't met any problem. Here this will work, but the output will be very interesting. I got 40, 20. So remember, when you add two string values, num1 is a string, num2 is a string. When you add two string value using plus operator, when you add it, it will concatenate. It will concatenate. It will concatenate or join. Concatenate or joining. So what happens is 40 joined with 20. Output is 40, 20. So instead of 40, 20, I'm going to change this as computer, and num1 is a string and its value is a computer. Num2 is also a string, its value is a science. Now what output I am going to get is computer science. I got the output as computer science. So when both operands, both variables are string, if you use plus operator, it will concatenate or it will join. I'm going to add a space here. See here, I can add a space in string. That is also possible. Now I'm going to run the code. You see the output, computer space science. So space is also a character in string. Space is also a character in string. I added a space here. So in num2 variable, how many characters are there? Space is there, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. 8 characters are there including space. 8 characters are there including space. So always remember how to use this plus operator. So when you are using entirely different types like a string and integer, plus operator will not work. It will show error. So always be cautious about the types of values we are using. So the first lecture I am closing down here. So next lecture, next tutorial video, we will discuss about different types of operators in Python, how to implement those operators. Everybody please subscribe the videos and watch it carefully and make it useful. Thank you.